Alright, I'm back with another video. Day 4 of me just talking to the camera, and this time I actually changed up something because I obviously am not authentic to the camera. So today I actually printed out a photo of my friend, and and I cut out like a little square for the phone, so you can't really see right here, but I cut out a square, so then it feels like I'm talking to my friend now. And it was actually very funny because I didn't use like a random photo. I used like the fat version. Like, you know how you use ChatGPT and you type in like, oh, make this person fat. I did that, and I don't know, the photo actually just makes me laugh. So if I just randomly laugh during the video, that's why. So yeah, I I hope that that's gonna make me sound more authentic. And also I'm trying to implement more hand gestures because obviously I don't use enough of them. So I'm going to be using hand gestures and trying to, you know, make myself more fluent and expressive with my words. Okay. So I actually did have let me just talk about where I'm coming from. I literally just came from the gym. It's 7 p.m. right now. I'm gonna look at the clock this time so I don't go overtime. But yeah, I went to the gym and it was hella packed. Like, I I went there. I mean, it was like rush hour, right? I Lots of traffic, and then I went there, and I swear to God, every single machine was taken. Like, I never again am I going to go on a Friday at 5 p.m. because it just don't do it. Like, it's not worth it. Because yeah, I mean, I was doing back day, and like usually I don't know if it's like that for your gym, but usually you have like four machines around. You have like two of cables and like one lat pull down and like one of those back row machines. But today, yeah, nothing was open. So I ended up doing like pull ups. I doing like some random ass machine. I did the There's this one machine at the gym where it's like, y- it's called the free motion lat machine, where basically you don't have you don't have like a real, it's basically just two cables and you just kind of just like pull like that. And I kind of like it over lat pull down. I've been using it recently, and that's the good thing about that is like it's always empty, because lat pull down, especially on a busy day, you'll get like four people asking you, oh, how many sets you have, or like how many more reps. And I'm like, bro, why are you just chilling behind me watching me? Like it honestly makes me so annoyed every single time someone comes up to me and asks me how many more sets. Like, I know you're technically not supposed to be annoyed, but I just like, whenever someone asks that, I just feel like pressured to finish my set, and it kind of makes me rush my set because usually I take 2 to 3 minutes to do my set. But whenever someone asks me, I'm usually like, oh, I have one more set left, or like two more sets left. And like, I hate when I say I have like two more sets left and they're just standing behind me watching me, and I'm like, bro, do you not have, like, what are you doing? Like, you're standing there for 5 minutes and you're not doing anything. You're just watching me work out, and I'm like, bro. And then I have to be quicker because then I know someone's watching from, like, it's just mad annoying, honestly. Anyways, that's just my rant about the gym. I got a decent workout in, did pull day. Came back home. I did make myself dinner today because I was hungry, and I was gonna, what was I gonna do? Oh, the reason why I don't usually go to the gym at 5 p.m. because it's like a sausage fest at that time. So usually I go at 9 p.m., which is when it kind of like calms down, but like you get like the, like between like 8 to 9 p.m. it's kind of chill, and then 9 p.m. onward, like you get like the late night goers. Like, I mean, like me, right? Obviously. But I feel like 9 to 10 is also pretty busy time. And I found that, what did I find? I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyways, uh, yeah. So today's topic, I was gonna talk about dopamine because I feel like that's a topic that most people like they don't understand. Like, I guess dopamine. The reason why we have dopamine is because we evolved into it. Because you know, like our ancestors probably were like, oh, there's food there. If I eat it, oh, I feel so good, and then they just keep eating it, and like they just get fat and stuff, and then after that, like, you know, they're like hunting for the rest of the day and like starving, right? But nowadays, there's no reason for you to do that, right? Like, yeah, you eat it and then you feel good, but then the you get short-term reward, but you sacrifice like long-term gain. I'm gonna be honest. So I'm trying to kind of rewire my brain to not crave, let's call it cheap dopamine, or just, what's the word? Yeah, not to crave instant gratification, because that shit is gonna kill you. Like, the reason why so many people are so hooked onto so many things, like even including myself, like one that's used to be one of my insecurities, right? That I used to be hooked to like video games and like binge eating random snacks or like, you know, random shit. So I'm glad I kind of grew out of that, but you know, there's always things that I can be improving. So yeah, dopamine is, it's kind of crazy. Like, if you think about it, that's exactly how I was thinking about this earlier, and I just wanted to say it on camera, but I was thinking how, like, I went to the casino maybe 2 weeks ago, and I was just realizing how, like, it's kind of fucked up how they use human psychology to get you hooked onto machines. Like, it's crazy how, like, if you really look into how a casino works, it it basically is, it gives you like a rush of dopamine, and then you keep doing it until you stop getting, you like, okay, so you basically get a huge fat rush of dopamine, and then you don't get anything after, and then you get like a smaller dose, and then like another one, and then like maybe another one, and like it's at a random pace, so that you don't ever know when you're gonna get a reward. So that's why people get hooked, right? I think there was an experiment. I remember there was an experiment that I was like looking at, and it was about monkeys, where like each time like they pulled a lever, they would get like, I don't know what it was, like a banana or something. Let's just call it a banana. So each time they pulled the lever, they got a banana. But the trick was that, what's it called? Trick was that they got it at a random time, and what they found was that the monkeys just kept pulling the lever because they were just so hooked to it, and that's exactly what we are. We're just monkeys, you know. They're just using us to make money, and it's kind of crazy how the casino works, because if you've ever been to a casino or like played at a casino, you should know that the house always wins, because they always have some sort of slight advantage. Say for example, blackjack, right? That's the game that me and my friends play, right? Like, obviously I've never gambled, right? I'll talk about that later, but I've never gambled, right? But blackjack, I think it's like one of the more like easier way, not easy, but one of the more, what's that word? One of the more strategic games where I guess you can kinda almost beat. Like, I think there's like a strat where you can count cards, and that's gonna make you actually have an edge over the house, which is kind of like, I've never, like, you know, all casino games are rigged, if you know about that. But yeah, so I don't know, people play blackjack, but then what happens over time is that as a larger group of people play it, there's gonna be, you know, people winning and people losing, but overall, people, like, they lose, right? Like, if you don't play without a strategy, I was just chat GPTing this at the casino the other day, and it was like 44% win rate if you literally don't have any strategy and you're just feeling it, right? That adds up, because like you have like a 5% disadvantage just by playing the game. So they win like they win like one extra time out of 10 times, I guess. But over time, you're gonna lose money. But there are instances where you're gonna get streaks of luck, like where you're gonna get multiple wins in a row, and that's gonna hook you, right? Because then you're now going to have the belief, oh, it's not rigged. It's not, oh, maybe I do have a lucky edge, or like I'm statistically better than average, but you don't know that. It's just probability, right? Because you don't know what the next win is gonna be. Like for every win, or for every like, let's say for every like, I don't know, for every like 60 wins that, okay, I don't have a number. I'm just making this up. But like, just know that every time you win, there's more people losing that are contributing to your win. So that is why the casino always wins. I don't know if that made sense, but I'm just rambling. But anyways, yeah, I was talking about dopamine, and honestly, the worst case of, the monkey pulling the lever syndrome kind of thing is when people play slots. Like, that shit is like, how do you even win that? Like, I swear you have like not even the 5% win rate, and people still like keep pulling the lever and like pressing the button and getting rewards and getting hooked. And it's crazy because the psychology behind it is insane, where they purposely don't put clocks there so that you don't know what time it is. You don't know, like you could, like for example, if I'm going in at 10 p.m, I don't, you don't realize that you're there till 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. if you're literally just playing the games, because you're so hooked on getting the next spike of dopamine that you're not conscious of the time. And another trick that they use is that they don't have windows. So if you, like, let's say that you're playing at like 4 a.m, okay, like a degenerate, right? You're playing at 4 a.m, you don't see the sunlight, you don't know when sun rises, right? You only play until you're tired. But the thing is, dopamine is not gonna keep you tired, because when you have those hits of dopamine, your brain is gonna be so active that you're not gonna want to sleep. So that is so fucked. And they even like, I mean, even in like, I've never been to Las Vegas, right? But I know that there's like hotels where they let you sleep, and I'm like, bro, like you really want people to live at the casino and spend all of their money and gamble? And I don't blame them, right? Like, it's just human psychology, how people get hooked onto these things. And if you don't have the discipline or like the willpower to change, then you're gonna get addicted, right? It's kind of like drugs in a way. I mean, in a way, drugs does act as, it gives you dopamine. And for example, like I used to be pretty interested into like looking into random drugs such as like heroin, and the amount of dopamine you get there is so crazy. Like you get like 10 times the normal amount of whatever you feel, or like 100 times better. So that's how people get hooked, because they get so high on that dopamine that nothing feels the same. And after that, it drops to the baseline, and you're gonna feel like shit. You're gonna get withdrawal symptoms. You're gonna feel like a zombie. That's why so many people in the States, right? Not here, but actually no, there are some places like out in Hamilton, for example. But so many places in the States, they have like people hooked onto drugs, and they're basically walking zombies. They're just living to find that source of dopamine because of how much dopamine they got from that drug, and how low they are at right now in terms of dopamine and drive. Because dopamine is obviously what creates motivation. It is the source of motivation. It's what pushes you to go out in the world and do shit, right? So let's say that you're hooked onto, let's just use like my example for example. You're hooked onto video games. You're just craving that dopamine, and once you get it from that game, you're not going to want to go outside. You're not going to want to film this video. You're not going to want to do anything, right? Like go to the gym, like nothing, right? Because if you get so much dopamine from something, you're not going to want to do anything else, because that is where you get your motivation and your drive to do stuff. So that's exactly how people get so hooked into video games. And sad to say, but my brother is also pretty hooked. Like he's been playing the same game for 30 years, and yeah, it's kind of sad, I'm not gonna lie, how the human brain works and craves dopamine like that. Like I wish it was easier to, change, but it's something that you have to build, and people, like, I wouldn't say that they're lazy, it's just literally how the brain works. And there's things you can do to change, but you really have to go out of your way to, really change yourself to not crave that instant dopamine. And that's gonna probably be the my next series, because I want to transform myself to not crave any of that, because I feel like the moment that I figure out how to actually not crave this dopamine, then I'm going to be doing the hardest shit and doing all the hard work, doing everything that no one wants to do, and from that I'll get where I want to be. I'll be like the top, one, probably better than top 1% of people, right? Because people just don't want to do what's hard. They want to stay comfortable, and comfort is where you're going to. Okay, I didn't have a quote. I was trying to think of a quote, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I did not have a quote there. But basically, you need to step out of your comfort zone, and it is true that. I mean, that's exactly what I'm doing. Like, at first, I was so. Literally 3 days ago, I was so inauthentic on camera. Like, I felt like I was being forced to talk to this metallic object that, doesn't have any soul or any existence. So that's why I was kind of trying to fake it. But right now, I feel pretty authentic. I can't even lie, because I'm using slangs and phrases and hand gestures that I normally wouldn't use on camera. But now my flow is much better, and I'm not scared of talking on camera anymore. So hopefully this will help my series, and I'm almost at 20 minutes, but I'll keep talking to you guys. Anyways, yeah, dopamine is a crazy thing, and I am not trying to get rid of it, but basically transform cheap dopamine into high quality dopamine. Or in other words, like transform short-term gratification into long-term gratification, because I know for a fact in the long run this will benefit me so much more than if I just keep, getting those hits of instant dopamine. And oh yeah, I was gonna talk about my viral video, right? So my viral video was a clear example of instant dopamine. So I hit a 3 million view video, and this low-key it destroyed my dopamine, because I just kept refreshing the like page, the followers, the views, and this was just destroying me, because every time I hit that like button, or no, hit that refresh button, I would get some sort of like small dopamine hit, right? And over time, it made me turn into that monkey pulling that lever. It made me just keep on refreshing and like just waiting for the next like or like next comment, but like that's useless if you're not doing shit about your videos or like your content or whatever you're trying to do. So that's exactly why I'm taking this next step to, try and get rid of all of this cheap dopamine and substitute it with some better quality ones. So I'm sure that there's going to be a lot to talk about here, and there's going to be a lot of things that I can do every day to improve that. And I'm pretty excited. I designed the what's it called?
the thumbnail the other day and it looks dope. Like I am, well, it's dopamine, right? So obviously it's gonna look dope, but you know what I mean. Anyways, I'm pretty sure I'm past 20 minutes. That was so easy. Like, that felt like a conversation. It felt like I was just trying to teach someone something. And instead of me being forced to talk on camera, wow, can't believe it. But every day, I'm still gonna do this. I'm gonna keep the picture of my friend cut out with the little square there because it's kind of hilarious. So it's making me laugh just by looking at it. uh, Anyways, this is the authentic me, and hopefully you can see it too. And I'm glad I progressed. So yeah, I'm gonna end it here, and I will see you guys tomorrow.